A brilliant system switch from Nico Kovac, the Dortmund coach, frustrates Barcelona. And in this video, we're going to take a look at all of the tactics and how great he was with his tactics. As always, do subscribe to the channel. It's going to help us a lot to get this family to grow bigger. We upload weekly Barcelona tactical content. But let's start with the video. Nico Kovac made a very brave decision and a good decision, a smart decision to change his formation to 3-4-3. And he did this for a bunch of reasons. Number one, it could be for the build-up, where if Barcelona wanted to go through one side of the pitch, Dortmund could easily then even out the numbers on that region, making it extremely hard for Barcelona to progress to one side of the pitch. Over here we can see right from the get-go, Guirassy and his partner already forces Barcelona to one side, right? And we know that Barcelona loves building up through the flanks especially. But look how many players Dortmund had in close proximity, with even Lamine Yamal. When he would drop deep, they could follow him, and look at how they still have three centre-backs intact. This 3-4-3 system was also perfect to defend against FC Barcelona, because even when they had to perform a high press, they could easily go man-to-man. The double pivot of Gavi and Frenkie de Jong could also be marked, and this wingback could go easily out. Now this gives the perfect situation for Fermin, for an example. However, the remaining four, could easily just go on to Fermin and also on to Lewandowski. Here we can clearly see that the front two of Dortmund applying pressure on Barcelona's centre-backs, where the wing-back is actually coming out to apply pressure on Gerard Martin, while the double pivot of Dortmund is keeping tabs on Barcelona's double pivot. And look at how the wing-back can come out to Rafinha as well, while the runs of anybody in the half space was also very good and well tracked by the Dortmund players. And look at how from the frame earlier you can see that the centre back can easily come out and make up for the guy that is in space right there. So Nico Kovac really did his homework for this game against Barcelona. So I won't be showing you guys how Dortmund did in possession and Barcelona did in possession separately. I'm just going to do it as the game progressed, right? When Dortmund had in the earlier stages of the game the ball, they would build up with one of the centre backs going into the midfield, forming this kind of like double pivot. And Barcelona pressed all the way with Robert Lewandowski. But one thing that we did see is that the likes of Guirassy would come into these areas, because we know that Frenkie Fermin would press up high. So the goalkeeper would kick the ball straight into Guirassy or straight into this guy right here in order to lay the ball off, and that is how they got forward with the wing backs. Here we see one of the centre backs, the middle one, I think it's Anton, dropping into the midfield, where Barcelona would press high with Robert Lewandowski. And I have to say, this guy Guirassy is rather really good. He's not the greatest striker, but he's really intelligent when it comes to the tactics, right? And look at him dropping deep into these areas. We can see the guy, I think his name is Bayer, I don't know how you pronounce it. Look at him laying the ball off eventually to one of the pivots, where the pivot would go to the wing back, and that's how they got up the pitch. From the 20th minute onward, we did see Barcelona being under pressure from Dortmund, and I think this might be a task from the manager, from Nico Kovac, to actually put on more pressure. And I'm sorry guys, I have to single this out once again. Ronald Araujo's positioning and his tactical understanding is absolutely awful, because he had Koundé coming back, and he was in this position at one stage just after the 20-minute mark, right? And Guirassy was literally blocking the passing lane between him and Szczesny, and Kubarsi couldn't even pass to Koundé in that situation right there because Adeyemi was there. So he had to lay the ball off to Szczesny, and Barcelona kicked high. If he was in this position right here, then Kubarsi could pass the ball to him, and he could easily take Adeyemi away. This is Koundé now. Koundé could easily take Adeyemi away, and Barcelona would be able to progress the ball. And I'm sorry if you're a little sensitive when it comes to Araujo, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this again. He is not Barcelona material. He is not. Mistake after mistake. Look at the assist he did in this game, and I don't even want to start talking about him. With this 3-4-3, Dortmund was able to have pressure up top with their front three, and also cover their wings with their wing backs while having three defenders back. And it makes me worried if we have to face Inter Milan, who plays the same system. But look at this right here. How can you honestly still defend this guy? Look at his positioning. If we didn't have this 4-0 lead, I think Barcelona would have been out of the Champions League. In the final third, Dortmund defended in a very interesting way, with their wider players in the front three defending in a 5 3-4-1 situation. This was to have 3 players on either flank for them available, because we know with Lamine Yamal inverting, Kunde, and also these runs coming through here. So they were well marked, and these guys could easily follow them one-on-one with Lamine. Adeyemi would keep tabs on Kunde, and if the likes of Fermin or even Frenkie would run through here, they were all being marked and being tracked. So this was a great system for Inter to play against Barcelona. Like I said, there was a great system to defend against Barcelona, because look at Adeyemi being able to track the run here of Lamine Yamal and Jules Koundé along with the wing back, and also the midfielder keeping tabs on Frenkie de Jong, because this 3-4-3 allowed them to be in their positions naturally, whether they attack or not. So this was great tactics from Nico Kovac, and look at the centre back being able to keep tabs as well. And even if the midfielder wasn't successful in defending Frenkie, that centre back would have been there anyway. So this is great tactics from Kovac. In the second half, Dortmund continued their high press, but Guirassy even pressed the goalkeeper, who is Szczęsny, right here, where Adeyemi and his partner could go into the centre backs, and then Barcelona's double pivot would also covered. But luckily, the Barcelona started moving the ball a little quicker, and this allowed Barcelona to be in more and more one-on-one situations. Over here we can clearly see Guirassy onto the goalkeeper while these partners were on the centre backs. And look at how Dortmund went man to man in this situation right here. And like I said earlier, look at Adeyemi. When he was pressing the centre back, he was literally running back to also put some pressure on Koundé. So Dortmund was working very hard in this game against Barcelona. The introduction of Pedri made the world of difference for Barcelona, and it made an instant impact, so much so that Nico Kovac even changed his system, because we know that Gavi is not somebody that would do the things that Pedri does, right, dropping into these areas, and now Barcelona suddenly could create these overloads in these areas right here. So what Nico Kovac did was he would simply just shift into a 4-4-2 in order to stop Pedri from getting these areas right here. And now the circulation for Barcelona into Jules Koundé could be a little bit more difficult. And he also tasked his front two to don't be so onto the center backs and rather keep tabs on Frenkie. So this is the kind of difference somebody like Pedri makes and does for you as a team, right? And I think Flick did this way too long as well. It's scary how Pedri can make the world of difference for Barcelona, and how average we look without him, right? Because him and Frenkie was now doing all of these movements and pulling players out of position, right? And you can see now the 4-4-2 here with Adeyemi wide. He couldn't allow Jules Koundé to have the ball as much, but look at how Fermin can also drop now because of the space Pedri creates. And suddenly Lamine Yamal was also in a situation here where he could go one-on-one against this fullback, and this is what difference Pedri actually makes. In the lead up to the goal, Barcelona also sort of started defending in a 4-4-2 situation, and Dortmund started doing the same things that Barcelona was doing, which means these players dropping into these areas, Adeyemi inverting, fullback going forward, and that is to draw Rafinha out. I know he was substituted, right? Lamine Yamal was substituted, but that is just to create one-on-one situations. But more importantly that I wanted to show you guys was this guy's tactical awareness and tactical brilliance, drawing players out of position, and then guys making runs in behind, right? But like I said, if we didn't have this 4-0 lead, I doubt Barcelona would have won this game, because this system that they played for most of the game was actually a problem for Barcelona. Adeyemi became the widest player for Dortmund on the left wing, rather than playing in the half space, and this was also a good move, and that forced Rafinha more and more backwards, right? And look at how he gets drawn out of position with this number 7 from Dortmund dropping into these wider areas, as we normally would expect Frenkie de Jong and Pedri would do, right? But the tactical brilliance of Guirassy was just amazing to see. And this is just testament that you don't have to be a world-class striker, but if you can do what your manager wants, then you're great. Hansi Flick were visibly frustrated in this match, and rightfully so, because like Frenkie de Jong said, Barcelona was disgustingly bad. And that's according to Frenkie de Jong. But guys, I want you to do something for me. If you watched the video up until this point, I want you to comment Araujo in if you believe he's a world-class player in Barcelona material, or Araujo out if you don't believe that. I want to see something. But as always, do subscribe to the channel. It's going to help us a lot to get this family to grow. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.